Okay. On this issue of restructuring, somebody was telling me that it is not possible. And I say no to that. It is possible. Where there is impossibility, there is possibility. And the case of Nigeria is not a case of uh, impossibility. It's a case of lack of the willingness for the people in power to do the needful to effect that aspect of rotational presidency among the 6 geopolitical zones. So if you look at Nigeria, the way Nigeria is, the current structure now, you will see what I will understand, what we are saying, why there is a need for us to adopt that rotational presidency amongst the six geopolitical zones. The people who our colonizers who brought us together, you know, did the best they could do when they did what they did, not understanding, what could be the future implication of, that union. But for me, there's nothing wrong with the union. It is in the managing of that union, that we are having problem. I believe we should be bigger. We are better bigger than smaller. Even though when we are small, if you don't manage yourselves very well, you still have problems. Okay? So the bulk of the problem is in the management, but the bigger we are, the better for me. If you look at Nigeria, you see that Nigeria consists of many countries that were brought together, many people with diverse ethnicity, different religions, different way of life, different reasoning, way of reasoning and doing things, different beliefs. I'm talking about traditionally, likewise religion, that were brought together to coexist and form one nation. So, and as such, we need to adopt a system that can help us coexist in peace and achieve growth and development. So, the people that are saying that Nigerian politics is a game of number, yes, to a great extent, I believe it's a game of number, but for some sensitive issues that has to do with our existence as a nation, the game of number is not the answer. The answer is a game of equal representation. Now, how does this work? In the House of Legislature or legislation, these 6 geopolitical zones has to play a major role. So in deciding on the issue of our coexistence, which is more especially this presidency that I'm talking about, in deciding on it, the usual 2/3 majority will not work. What will work is, like I said, equal representation, of which the representatives of the 6 geopolitical zones in the House will carry out a vote, and each region will be seen as one entity. So you have 6 regions now casting that vote. When they cast the vote, for instance, if the result is 4:2, 4 is for or against, then majority wins the vote. Majority wins. Okay. So in that way, the regions have been duly represented. So, but the only problem we have presently, which I can tell you without beating hand in my chest, so many people does not believe in the current legislators. I have heard a lot saying that it is a rubber stamp. A lot of people, home and abroad, saying that it's just a rubber stamp, concerning this insecurity matters. But despite that, it is the cheapest way to go about this issue of rotational presidency. Because another way will be for INEC to organize a vote, organize an election in the 6 geopolitical zones. Then, whatever the outcome is, they now collate and know how many of the regions are saying we are for this or we are for that. Another cheaper way that may not be too expensive too, the INEC could go about it is the state legislations, the state house, starting from grassroots, that is the level of the traditional rulers, the councillors, and state, that is the legislatures in states, can carry out a vote. When they carry out votes, their own votes, whatever the outcome is, the INEC can still organize it, even though I know we have chairman. We have a chairman, but INEC can still organize it, at that level, if we want to cut cost, so that to that extent, people can still accept it, than just saying the 2 houses at the federal level and this thing, higher and the upper and lower house, to just carry out on our behalf. And, no, a lot of people may not accept it. Many people may not accept the outcome. Whichever way the outcome goes, they may not accept it. But when you bring it down to the grassroots, we are talking of expenditure. How much have we been spending on elections? States. So what is worth doing is worth doing well. What we are doing is for the benefit of generations upon generations to come. That decision and that action is for the benefit of generations upon generations to come, not just for our sake. One time, President of America said, think first of what you will do for America, the nation. These are people who were committed to bringing change, bringing real change, positive change, with positive, and the willingness. You see the willingness in them from the way the country has grown over those years will show you how you know truthful their forefathers were in taking that bold step they took for the sake of these generations and the future generations. We have prayed enough. We have we have done everything spiritual we can do enough. Now it's time to apply common sense, because even the Bible we read somewhere said that all faith without work is dead. So it is time we change our method. We cannot continue to doing things the same way and expect a different result. Since 1960. So there is a need for us to change our method. That need, everybody knows, so many knows, but it's the willingness on the side of our leaders to effect that change so that everybody will benefit. Everybody, big or small, will benefit, so that there will be a balance. We have prayed enough. God has heard our prayer. God is waiting for us to apply the common sense that he gave us. I will tell you something. You see, this one cuts across. If you look at the Christian, the Old Testament has a lot of similarities with Judaism, Islam. There are some similarities. If you ask the scholars, they will tell you these things. They will explain these things to you better. You understand? So what I'm trying to bring out from that is that if you look at centuries, years back, people in those days in the world used to see human being, the soul of a man, being resided in the human's heart. That is why, more especially the Bible, you say a man's heart, a man this, a man heart thought a man heart cannot think. What is there is just flesh that pumps blood, oxygenated blood, round the body, supplies the brain with oxygen. That is what you find there. But because there was no science in those days, when a man gets angry, the heart begins to beat very fast, and all that. They believe that, this is the heart of a man, and for the fact that the heart pumps blood and all that. So, even when you get scared, when the body secretes some certain hormones, they feel the heartbeat. They think this, or when you do some exercises, you feel your heart beating. When you are panting, you feel your heart beating. So they believe that, life is all about the heart, that the soul of a man is the heart. That's why you see many verses in the Old Testament where they say, what the heart thinketh. The heart cannot think. What thinks is this? Common sense, the brain. And that is where the soul of a man resides. That is what we now know. Anything that affects that brain, otipari, you don't finish. So we human beings, as we pray and fast, let's also apply this one, common sense. God gave us common sense for a reason. That is what differentiates us from other animals. So it is not, when it comes to sensitive matters that brings us together to coexist peacefully and achieve growth and development. It is not the usual two-third majority. It is a game of equal representation, which implies that a vote will be carried out in that method. Whatever result we get, I'm talking about solution now, we adopt it, enshrine it in the constitution. If this thing is done with honesty, you will see that majority, leave the politicians, the people, majority, even among the politicians, because many of them know the truth, but for some reason, they cannot speak out. For some reason, they cannot do the needful. But speak with them one-on-one, you see what I'm talking about. You will see that everybody buys the idea. But because there is a lacuna, there is a problem somewhere. That is why we are pleading. We are pleading, we are pleading, we are begging. This one is a plea. We are begging. Please help us. Suffer no dey tire you. We don't. The big is suffering. The rich is suffering. Everybody is suffering. I keep saying it. Nigeria, we are not in a bed of roses. Even if you see people, displaying all sort of wealth, everybody is suffering. We are tired. Please, it is time for us to come together and do the needful. We cannot continue to do the wrong thing and expect a positive result. It is like one lying to himself. Well, there is no need for talking too much. They used to say that in the evening service, the evening service does not require too much sermon. A word is enough for a wise. Okay? This one is a response to some people who were raising some questions, saying, go and look at the Nigerian map, go and do this one, that a game of number, who is going to vote, that the people that are going to vote, that they are benefiting from the current system, that those people that are voting, have you thought of bringing the vote down to the grass level and feel the pulse of the people? No matter how illiterate you may think they have common sense. They know the truth. Have you brought it down to the common people and feel their pulse about those sensitive issues? Ka Chineke mezie n'okwu.